Hello chess enthusiasts, my name is Miha and welcome to my Chess Realm YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you a nice attacking game between Etienne Bacrot and Petr Leko, played in 2008. In the game, Etienne Bacrot had white pieces and he started with e4, c6, d4, d5, knight to c3, d takes on e4, knight recaptures, and now bishop to b5. And we have classical variation of Caro-Kann. White removes the knight to g3, bishop to g6, h4, trying to trap the bishop, so black creates an escape square on h7, knight to f3, knight to d7, h5, bishop to h7, and bishop to d3, offering the trade of bishops, and black accepts, so bishop captures on d3, queen recaptures, e6, bishop to f4, and queen to a5, check. White has decided to defend the check with bishop to d2 and now bishop to b4, further putting pressure on the king. Well, if white trades bishops, then queen attacks both king and the pawn. So white can defend both only with queen to c3, but after queen exchange, white gets inferior pawn structure. So here white decides to play c3, bishop retreats to e7, now c4, again attacking the queen, and black removes the queen to c7, white castles queenside, knight from g to f6, knight to e4, and black castles kingside. Both players castled on opposite sides, so we are expecting a sharp battle. And here in this position, white played g4, offering the unprotected g-pawn. The idea, of course, is to open g-file for rook, and white also threatens g5, further pushing g-pawn, and that indeed would be unpleasant. So black more or less has no other option but to capture the pawn. So knight takes on g4, threatening to fork heavy pieces. White plays queen to e2, now f5, attacking the knight on e4, but white doesn't care and plays rook from d to g1. You might think that knight on e4 is for free, but if black captures the knight, then queen recaptures. Here black would have to be very careful. If black forks the pieces, then rook to g7, king has to capture, queen to g6, king h8, queen h6, king g8, rook g1, and this is winning for white. Computer says it's made in maximum 9 moves. So here black would have to keep the g-file closed and play knight from d to f6, then queen captures on e6, check. Again, black has more options, but this is definitely very unclear position, or as we say, muddy waters, so it's hard to tell whether knight sack was justified. In the game, black played rook from a to e8, knight to e1. Now black really cannot take the knight on e4 because then knight on g4 is no longer defended. Instead, black played e5, knight to g3, e takes on d4, and now knight to f5. Defender of the knight on g4 is removed. Black, of course, cannot retreat the knight because then rook strikes on g7. So rook captures on f5, queen captures on g4, threatening mate on g7. So black defends with rook to f7 and now bishop h6. Black, of course, cannot capture the bishop because of the pin. Material is now equal, but this is a very double-edged position. Black king is more exposed, so white has initiative. Black further defends the g7 square with bishop to f6. Bishop goes back to d2. Now here the best option for black would be activating his queen to e5, maybe trying to trade for white queen, removing the most dangerous piece. Black, however, saw the things differently. Knight to e5, attacking the queen. Queen goes to e3 and now d3. White can, of course, take the pawn, but after knight to d3, knight to d3, queen d3, black opens additional files for his rooks. So white decided to keep the files closed. Queen goes to e4 and now queen to b6. Here we have an interesting tactical motive. If white, for example, plays h6, then queen captures on b2, king recaptures, and now knight to c4. Discover attack on the queen, and black gains material and is definitely better here. So here white plays b3, temporarily removing the threat. Well, black should be more aware of his bad king position. Both rooks are targeting his king, and h6 pawn push is also very dangerous, so maybe retreating queen to d8 would be the best option. But black underestimated the danger. Queen c5 was played, and now h6. White is trying to open the files for his rooks and deliver the final blow. Black plays queen to a3, king to d1. Still, here was the chance for black to provide some sort of defense with g5, keeping the files closed, although after bishop captures the g5 pawn, white probably has decisive advantage. Winning is a matter of technique actually. In the game, however, black plays the move which loses instantly. Queen captures the pawn on a2. Well, indeed, if white tries capturing the g7 pawn, then black is winning with queen b1, bishop c1, queen b3, king d2, knight c4, queen c4 the only move, and rook e2, checkmate. White, however, in this position found the correct continuation. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to find it. It's forced mate in 5, and it starts with queen h7, check. If black captures the queen, then h takes on g7, king g8, and rook h8, checkmate. And if black moves the king to f8, then bishop c4, rook from f to e7, h takes on g7. Now either king f7, white promotes with mate, or bishop g7, queen g7, mate. Anyway, realizing his hopeless position here, Petr Leko resigned the game. I hope you like this game and that you have learned something from it. If you have any questions, my email is below in the description. Of course, I invite you to visit my Instagram page. That's it for now, and see you soon.